When we come into physical life, we adopt a singular individual perspective. This serves not only our own individual expansion, but also universal expansion. But when it comes to relationships, it makes it difficult to say the least. Why? Because if we hold an individual perspective, you can bet we don't always see eye to eye. When love becomes a choice is when we decide to commit to the other person as we would to ourselves. We commit to capitalizing their best interests. This commitment takes on many forms, such as affection, assistance, intimacy, communication, etc. When love becomes a choice, we are presented with the opportunity to choose to create harmony instead of succumb to the power struggle. Power struggle is an inevitable part of all relationships. It arises as a result of the ego vying for survival by trying to differentiate itself. The thing about love is that it dissolves the ego. It is, in essence, an ego death. Obviously, the ego is not going to respond to that very well. Instead of allowing us to see our similarities, it's going to accent our differences. It will survive by trying to push the other people or person in our life away. When we commit to love, which is a decision, we commit to acting in loving ways that puts the welfare of our partner in the forefront. This is not easy. We tend to reach a point in the relationship where we sit back, we wait for the other person to meet our needs, and we feel resentful when they don't. We shut down our hearts to them. We think that to feel loved we need to receive love, when in truth, it is in the taking actions to love that we develop loving feelings from within. When we give, our hearts must be open. When our heart is open, compassion and love comes flooding in, and one of the most loving things we can practice giving our partner is understanding. So the following is an exercise that I want you to try. You can do this with anyone in your life. It's amazing if you do it with your romantic partner, but you can do it with your mother, you can do it with your sister, you can do it with your daughter, you can do it with your friend, your coworker, literally anyone. This is especially good to use if you guys have a chronic argument that you can't seem to settle. What I want you to do is to switch roles in the argument. So you are actually arguing from the other person's perspective in the scenario. Try to act like they act. Say exactly what they say. I want you to take on their persona and point of view completely. And your goal during this exercise is threefold. 1. To understand their point of view fully, as if you were literally in their shoes with their history and their feelings and their beliefs. This is not about transposing your viewpoint over or into their viewpoint. This is not about if I were you, it's about I am you instead. 2. For them to understand your point of view fully as if they were literally in your shoes with your history and your feelings and your beliefs. 3. To mirror to the other person what it looks and feels like to be on the opposite side of them in this argument. 4. To have them mirror to you what it looks and feels like to be on the opposite side of you in this argument. So for example, say that a husband and wife are chronically arguing because the husband works too much. What they would do is switch roles. So the wife is now arguing or making a case for the husband's perspective, and the husband is now making a case for the wife's perspective. To do this exercise, we have to be willing to lay down our defenses. This is particularly difficult because why? The ego that is not concerned with love is concerned much more with being right, with being justified, and with being the good guy, and making the other person the exact opposite of those things. But if we can accomplish this exercise, we have the opportunity to learn so much more about ourselves, to grow as a person, and also for the relationship to begin to flourish. If at any point during this exercise you start to receive insights about yourself or about the relationship itself, feel free to express those at any point. And make sure, if you don't express them during the exercise, that after you complete the exercise, both of you who are participating in the exercise reflect back upon the things you learned as a result of switching perspectives. Try to be as vulnerable as you possibly can be during this point of the process. So to give you a tiny demonstration of what this might look like practically in your life, I figured that I would bring on Blake as my guinea pig again, and we would select an actual issue that's ongoing in our friendship, and that we would demonstrate what this looks like for you today.
What the hell was that back there? you just threw me completely under the bus. And now I'm alone. I feel like I'm alone. I'm betrayed. And does our friendship mean nothing over the last 12 years?
I don't know.
This is hard.
I know, but it's about acting, so we get to be actors for a minute.
When you don't stand by me as a friend, it makes me feel like you don't value our friendship at all, and it just, I feel so upset.
God. What? So reflect, are you seeing anything already?
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
I'm feeling intimidated.
Yeah, and I'm feeling.
I'm picking my eyes like you do.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling angry and alone and like perhaps our connection is a lie.
I don't know what to say.
I just want to tear your head off.
Yep, basically. Yep. I feel frozen. This is what, I feel frozen in my body and, I can't do what I know I should do. It's like I feel deflated, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to, because I can't undo what I just did. I don't know what to do to make it better.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to say is this. Ready? Try this on for size, because this is what you do. Okay, ready? Yeah, I shouldn't do that. Yeah, I definitely know I shouldn't do that. I won't do that again, I swear. I promise.
Yeah, right.
Why did you feel that way?
It's just words. It's not actions.
You feel the stuckness?
Yeah. What are you gonna do to not do this again?
Gosh, I feel like I'm an angry person now suddenly. Ooh. Every time you yell at me, I'm like, I just feel like fighting.
Yeah. So.
Do you feel this stuff right now? Like you just want to get something from me, but I don't know what to say to you, so it's just like there's nothing.
Should I go into the perspective of what I've thought now since you...
Yes.
I've done that?
Yes. We'll both do it. I'll do it and then you do it. Okay?
Well, I don't know. I feel like I've changed a lot.
You're defending.
Lately.
No, you're defending. So like that right there is what the ego does.
Okay.
So I'm glad you just did that.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we're in the reflection period, even though we were doing some reflecting in the middle of it, this can be a really long, drawn-out thing, by the way. It just so happens that in this particular dynamic, because Blake displays passive-aggressive instead of aggressive-aggressive communication style, there's a lot more body language communication than there is, actual communication. But don't be surprised if your arguments are much more wordy than that and take a lot longer. But this is just a demonstration. So now, if I was going to reflect upon that and what I learned that being on the other side of me when I'm really angry is like being cornered, kind of like being fenced in, almost like a caged animal, and I feel frozen, like I don't know what to do to make it better, and I do feel a huge sense of shame. It's not like I feel a huge sense of shame in my body, and deflated.
Right. And then I feel angry and betrayed, like I've got this friendship, but that at any sign of trouble that person doesn't have my back, and so I feel alone, and
so what can we do? So based on that, exercise that you did and I did, what could we do to change it? For me, I want to communicate with you in a style that's a lot less angry and attacking.
Okay.
So maybe what I could do next time I have an issue with that, if it comes up again, is to like write it out on a piece of paper and bring it to you.
Okay. And for me, I want to work on betraying myself less in situations so that I am...
Do you want to explain what the issue is? Because I don't think from that demonstration people can understand what the issue was.
I had this issue where I was so...
Afraid of conflict.
Yeah, afraid of conflict, trying to appease people, make other people happy, that I would even I would sacrifice myself and my voice in order to make other people happy. And one day I realized that I was actually doing that to my friends too, because we have a connection that's unbreakable.
It's secure.
And whatever person we're dealing with, it wasn't secure. So I was attempting to make them happy by
throwing me under the
bus. By throwing her under the bus. because our connection's secure, we can work it out. But I don't know if I can work it out with those people, so I got to make them happy. And I don't know, when I realized that I was actually hurting not just myself but other people, that's when it was a real big kick in the butt to get me to change this.
Yeah.
So as far as this exercise, I feel like communicating more, a loyalty, knowing that having my own voice will protect her as well.
High five. Yay.
Okay.
Communication is the cornerstone of any relationship, and this particular exercise will go far to enhancing the communication between you and whoever it is in your life you want to enhance communication with. It will also go far to show you patterns of growth, which may enhance your own life, compromises that may be made in the relationship, and also changes that can be made which will enable your relationships to flourish. So give it a try, and have a good week.